telling me
I'm telling you.
808 Heartbreak is the most influential album of the 2000s
Of this
or
century.
like of this century. Well,
What is going on, everybody? This is John with my boy Lee, and welcome to another installment of the Would Have Talked About It Anyway podcast. Lee, my boy.
what up? What up?
How you doing, man?
Hey, man.
How you feeling?
I'm good. I'm good. Christmas is around the corner. Freaking, it's not snowing yet, so that's good. I hate shoveling. It's been good. It's been a good week, man.
Nice, man.
So it always goes by so fast, and now here we are again, talking on our podcast. John, it's been we've started this in like April, and did we start this in like April? We started this in April, but we haven't been consistent since like we've been consistent since like late summer, like late July.
So we did a trial run in April.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if anyone's ever gonna hear that trial run. It was brutal.
We'll
it was
see.
bad. It was bad.
It was rough. We recorded it on Discord.
Dude. We recorded on Discord. had Craig the bot coming in and recording our stuff.
Yeah.
And then using Audacity to try to like merge everything together was a struggle.
Yeah, we just made it so much more difficult
Dude,
in like that
so
first
much-
episode.
Dude, it's so difficult. And then like we try to like
We do use Audacity when we record live though.
Yeah, we do.
Yeah,
we still
yeah,
do.
yeah.
It's the easy.
Yeah.
It's honestly the easiest thing to use.
Yeah.
But no, like, and then like we were like trying to like try to be something that like we really weren't. So we weren't. Neither of us were really feeling it. Like, it was a brutal.
And it was our first episode. We reviewed Gucci Mane's book is like a self-help book from Gucci Mane, which is a really good book. Shouts out Gucci Mane.
Shout out to Gucci
You
Mane.
guys should watch that
Dude.
or read that.
I will tell you, I reread it not too long ago, and I'm still learning, and I'm still picking up little tidbits here and there.
My favorite quote from that was the one that I remember the most to this day is still like whatever it is, just do it now.
Yeah.
Because like you get those moments where you're like, man, I don't feel like doing shit. So like, even it's like a part of my life now where I think about that. Where I'm like lazy, I'm like, fuck it, I'm just gonna do it. I'm gonna do it right now.
Yeah.
And you know what we're doing right now?
We're doing it right now.
Pod. This has been good. We've
this is
we've
episode-
reviewed a lot of music. This is gonna be episode 16
Yeah.
officially, but I'm pretty sure, give or take, like with episodes that we haven't dropped, or like episodes where we didn't have mics yet, we're like probably like in episode 20-ish.
We've okay. I can tell you because I just migrated all of the video that I have on my end. You've got like 22 episodes of videos of which like six of which we didn't drop. And that's just because some of it's because of timing. Some of it's like audio quality is too poor. Like,
True.
you know, before we had mics, there's like at least 3 or 4 episodes.
Oh,
That like,
dude, remember the one episode where like we thought we had a really good ass episode, and then after that, like your audio didn't, like
Dude.
one of our audios just didn't like record properly.
dude, I remember that one because we were talking about Shaquille O'Neal and talking
Yeah.
about like
We got to
how,
redo
like,
that. We got to redo that one.
See, but are you? But if we're doing it again, and I'm gonna quiz you on it, like
Oh, okay.
like
we got to do something similar to that.
we'll do
where
something
it's, like,
similar.
So like to give you guys context, it was what was it? It was, the stat was Shaq was on.
So the stat was
Say it.
there's a Shaq teammate
Mhm.
that has been in every NBA Finals from like I think it was 84 to 2020.
Damn.
Because the last playoffs were the first playoffs where a
Ugh.
Shaq's wasn't in it.
That's so tight. All right, we should honestly that for one of our future episodes, we should just mention the stat because that's just a really interesting stat.
Dude, I mean we're
I'm a-
mentioning
I'm a
it. We're
note
mentioning
that.
it now,
Yeah, no, but like I want to like say all of the players.
dude.
Like, 'cause-
it's a list, bro.
It's really interesting. Okay, but anywho, we've also been doing a lot of music reviews.
We have.
Yeah, freaking last episode we went to like all the 2000 stuff, and we mentioned as much as we could, but we definitely forgot
Dude, there's
that we should really talk about. And I think even if we do it right now, there's still people we didn't mention.
I mean, I will tell you,
After
there's
this, like, right
I
now.
will tell you, there's a bunch of stuff that like we were talking about it after. Like,
Yeah,
I was like, oh wait, how could I forget about this person? Like, Like I am so disappointed in myself that I forgot like Missy Elliott's like moments from like the 2000s. Like she went in on a bunch of songs. Like
Yeah.
get your freak
Work
on.
It.
Like dude, work it. Get your freak on. Like
Oh, freaking! What was the Missy Elliott one? Her music videos were probably okay. I don't know if it's a hot take or not, but Missy Elliott had the best music videos in all of the 2000s. Out of everyone's music videos, I think Missy Elliott had the best music videos in 2000s.
okay, now
Freaking the Work It music video is really
oh,
cool.
Dude, the work
Freak
it.
On.
Get your freak on.
What's the one where like she's on like
lose
a
control with Sierra and Fat Man Scoot?
ooh what's the one with Ludacris where they're like in a school?
Gossip Folks.
Yeah, Gossip Folks was man. If you go watch Gossip Folks right now,
Dude,
that's a freaking solid one.
Dude, Missy Elliott's music videos are the ones that had like they always had like the little like the little kids dancing in it too, and like those kids can like dance.
Yeah, they're like, you know how old we are? Those kids were our age now. We're like our age when
I
they were
know,
dancing, and they're
dude.
they're like probably like similar.
Dude, I keep getting random TikToks of like different people that were in Missy Elliott music videos. Like just be like,
Really?
oh, yeah, dude, I was in this music video. Or like, oh, I was in
Damn.
that music video, and I was like, oh,
You
shit.
got Missy Elliott algorithm on your TikTok?
Dude,
That's tight.
dude, it's not a bad algorithm to be on, man. It's not a bad one at all.
Yeah, Missy Elliott is really good. Work It. You know what else? What we've heard? Okay,
paying down, flipping them reverses it, man.
Ja Rule and Ashanti. You gotta
Dude,
give them.
dude.
You gotta give Murder Inc. some shout in the
Dude,
2000s.
Murder Inc. Man, that was a little bit of a movement with like was that Irv Gotti and everything and everyone.
Yeah, yeah. It was in
Fat
Murder
Joe's not Murder Inc. Is he?
No, but they did have a
They did a-
versus.
they
Maybe
did a-
that's what you're thinking about.
No, but they did songs together.
Yeah, they did. They did. Freaking. I'll put it on here like that one song where it's like him or. I think it's just Fat Joe and like Ashanti is what I'm thinking about. I don't know if Ja Rule was on there. But
What's Love?
yeah,
So
there you go. What's
there's
Love?
two versions
What's
of
Love?
it.
What's Love?
There's a version with Ja Rule doing.
Oh, really?
Got to doing part of the chorus,
Mm,
and then there's a version where it's Fat Joe doing it,
mm.
or at least, or I mean, from what I remember as a kid. But like, dude, Ja Rule, like living it
Yeah.
up. Oh man, Ja Rule's living it up. You had Ashanti's Foolish.
What's the song where Ja Rule goes, "Where would I be without my baby"?
Oh, is that 2000s or is that 90s?
No, that's 2000s.
What would
Yeah,
I
no,
be
Ja Rule-
without you?
Yeah, it's without you. It's without you.
Yeah.
It's you
No,
just-
is it? I think it's Put It On Me, isn't it?
Yeah, there you go. Put it on me.
Which I think is 2000. Which I think is 2000. So
Yeah, the early 2000s, Ja Rule had the hits. Him and Fat Joe's verses was good though. I liked it.
it was pretty good verses. I haven't
Yeah.
watched too many of them lately. I don't think the last one I watched was it Dipset versus Logs?
Yeah, that's the out of all the. I think the Dipset and Locks one was the best one because Jadakiss had his moment, bro.
Dude, Jadakiss deserved that moment.
Mm-hmm.
And plus, it doesn't help that like Plus, it helped that like Joel Santana did not take it seriously like at all.
Yeah, like I think I don't know if we talked about it, but like if it was like a versus in this kind of setting where it's like a Zoom kind of thing, and they're not even really performing, they're just kind of like playing DJ and just like letting their songs fly off.
Mhm.
I think Dipset could have won it, but the fact that there's a crowd and then you kind of have to do like crowd work, and then Jadakiss freaking, he's like, "Yo, stop the beat," and he's like, "I'm outside." That shit was just it was hella hard.
Yeah.
And then the Who Shot You, ugh. Man, freaking 2000s. But we'd be remiss, John, if we did not mention, you know what's really popular right now in 2020s? Even a little before that,
What
in
is
like
it?
the 2010s, is K-pop bands, you know?
Oh, dude.
And K-pop really, really popping. I'm not the biggest fan of K-pop, and it's not like I don't hate it. I'm just like, I'm not into it. I think they're all very, very, very talented. Shouts out BTS and everyone
Dude, shout
that
out-
likes
shout out
BTS.
BTS.
Oh, BTS has a song with Meg Thee Stallion, and it's pretty good. It's good.
Yeah.
Yeah. But to me though, like I really like it.
Hold up.
But in the 2000s, you know, it was kind of similar to like what the K-pop artist is,
Are
or
you
what
go-
the K-pop
Are
artists
you
are
about
now.
are you about to
are
drop some
boy
like?
bands.
Oh, dude, I knew it.
Or
Knew
freaking
it, man.
boy bands.
Oh man, dude,
Who was did you like NSYNC better or Backstreet Boys?
dude, my sister. Okay, so let me tell you, I'm the like in the 90s, I was the youngest of my family.
Okay.
So like my sisters were all about like the boy band scene, like
Damn.
like
So like they
boy
were
bands,
really
like
into
Britney
it.
Spears, like all of
Did they
the
have
pop
like their
stuff.
posters? and
Spice
stuff?
Girls,
Oh.
like
Ooh, Spice Girls, the shout.
yeah, dude. No, they. I don't know if they had the I don't remember if they had the posters, but like I remember like they. I think my sisters were both like NSYNC like fans. Like they had all the CDs. They listened to all. They like watched the music videos when they were on TV.
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, you know what? No, I'm not gonna stand for this. So like I became more of a Backstreet Boys fan than an NSYNC fan, and I still will go back and listen to some Backstreet Boys.
Yeah, Backstreet Boys was like my favorite. As I think in terms of like getting into music before, because like right now I'm the biggest hip hop head you'll probably ever meet, but before all of that,
I mean that's debatable.
before I got into that, yeah, whatchamacallit, freaking, I think Backstreet Boys were like one of the first music that like I really enjoyed.
Yeah,
I remember they performed in All That, like they were like a guest star.
Yes.
All That, and I was like super excited.
dude, I will tell you, dude, 90s like music, like 90s music acts, and I guess a little bit of an extension of the early 2000s, like when musicians would just like randomly show up in TV shows.
Yeah, you'd get like excited and like in guest feature the Backstreet Boys, and you're like, what?
Dude, I will tell you, that's how I found out about Joe. Do you remember Joe? I Want to Know and all that.
Yeah.
He was on a random like Nickelodeon show, and I was like, oh shit, I have to watch this. And I was like, damn, that's Joe. I could not tell you what TV show that was to save my life, but
It could have been All That.
No, it wasn't All That. It wasn't All
No,
That. I know
okay.
it wasn't.
Freaking All That had like a really like good lineup. They had the Fugees at one point.
They did.
Yeah. Nick Cannon was on there.
Nick Cannon.
The music comedic duo that is Keenan and Kel.
Oh, dude, a classic. But we're getting away from the topic at hand. Getting away from the topic at hand.
But like the boy band stuff is like technically it's low key late 90s going into like early 2000s.
Like they had like that was like a moment for like a good solid like 5 or 6 years where it was like boy bands were the craze. Because you had the two main ones. You had NSYNC and Backstreet Boys, but then you had like 98 Degrees with like Nick Lachey. You had
yeah, true. It was kind of like going like that's kind of like the more of it. Okay, keep going.
I mean, I don't think I can name it.
B2K.
That's the only other ones I can think of. That's early. That's like an extension of like the 2000s. And you know, B2K was just a tool for Omarion to get super popular.
No, freaking Roger or Marcus Houston was on there. You know, Tia and Tamara, Roger.
He wasn't a member of B2K.
I thought he was.
No.
What? Hold up. We're googling this right now. Marcus Houston. I could have sworn he was. Am I just mistaking it because they were both on You Got Served?
I think that's what you're thinking of. Because they're both on You Got Served. You're like making connections that didn't need to be made. Marcus Houston did make music, but he was not a part of B2K.
So you're telling me Marcus Houston was never part of? Yep, you're right. It was Omarion.
Yeah, Lil
Fizz, J Bug, and Raz B.
Yeah.
I don't know any of those people except for Omarion.
And there's a reason for that.
Well, I think were all of the B2K people in You Got Served?
I don't know. That's a good question.
It was just Omarion. Okay, so I blame You Got Served because when I saw You Got Served, I was like, oh yeah, it's all the B2K guys. You know what? I was today years old when I figured out that Marcus Houston was never a part of B2K. I was living a lie my entire life.
But you know, I think from how I remember it, you really had this like moment where rap kind of took a backseat. Because like I'd say early to like mid 90s, like you really started to have this first like wave of like hip hop and rap being like being super mainstream, being influential. We had like Tupac, Big, Nas had a moment at the same time. Jay-Z was getting kind of popular. You had Ice Cube, Snoop Dogg, and all of them. But like I don't know like what exactly happened, but like the late 90s where it was a lot of, or at least on the mainstream level, still a lot of boy bands. Well, it was a lot of boy bands or like music groups, I should say, because you can't discredit like Spice Girls, because Spice Girls they kill it, man.
And like Britney Spears.
Like Britney Spears, like I think Christina Aguilera might be like late '90s, early 2000s, like.
Oh yeah, Genie in a Bottle. Who did you like more? Was Britney Spears or Christina Aguilera as a child?
Dude,
because that was kind of like the verses. Is like Backstreet Boys, NSYNC. Damn, what if they had? Do you think they do a verses of NSYNC and Backstreet Boys now?
No,
they should do that.
No,
would you watch
why?
that?
You know why?
Why?
Because
Justin Timberlake is above all of it.
Yeah, Justin Timberlake's like, I got way too successul to take a part in anything that has to do with NSYNC.
I forgot one of the, who was it? One of the NSYNC members voiced the one character from Fairly Odd Parents.
Oh, dude, you talking about Chris Kirkpatrick being Chip Skylark?
There you go. There you go.
That's the most notable thing he did after NSYNC.
He dropped My Shiny Teeth in Me, dog. That is a banger.
Dude, it is a banger, dude.
Oh, his name's Chips, or what's his name?
Chris Kirkpatrick.
Oh,
dude.
You say Chris.
He got dissed by Eminem in a song.
I was gonna say literally. That was literally where I was going. It was like, Chris Kirkpatrick, you could get your ass kicked.
Worse than the little Limp Bizkit bastards and Moby get stung by Obi.
Yeah, I guess like I remember seeing an interview where like Eminem's like, don't take it personally. It's just your name rhymes.
Yeah.
So that's what I'm gonna say. Like in the hat of everything is like your name rhymes. Man, but I think to like kind of like your point, and I think we were kind of going into it like a little bit last week too. Whereas hip hop still like in the late '90s and probably still going into like the early 2000s was still like counterculture ish. It wasn't full fledged like mainstream culture, so I could see why like mainstream culture would push more like boy bands and like more poppy things than freaking like DMX's album. Even though DMX's album sold like he sold a lot of units, a whole lot of units.
Dude, X gonna give it to you, man.
But yeah, man, freaking those are. We gotta give a shout out to Fort Minor too. You're a big
can't go back.
Fan.
Going back to early 2000s, how can I forget, man? Dude, I think I played Remember the Name too many times to remember as a kid.
That was like the go-to like super like I'm gonna get hype song.
You know what I'm saying? Dude, they still use that song at like sporting events.
I was gonna say I feel like that's like every like Nike commercial was like remember like once that dropped like Remember the Name was probably on like every like
dude if you watch like any like college hype tape from like 2006 on, Remember the Name's in there at some capacity.
Whoever made a YouTube video of them working out, Remember the Name is like the go-to. But I gotta shout out to Hey Oh It's Elmo, because he commented on one of our TikToks of like favorite albums of 2000s, and he mentioned Fort Minor, so I was like, yo, we gotta there's just so much. There's like, I know we missed a lot of like,
there's a lot
even right now. There's so much.
Dude, there's I'm sure there's even more stuff that we're missing. Even with us having gone back and talked about a couple of things.
Yeah, man. Okay. Before we move on to, because I want to talk about 90s hip hop with you, but how'd you feel about 808s and Heartbreaks? Because we didn't really get a chance to talk about 808s and Heartbreaks. Dude, that hurt me the most. I think that hurt me the most more than anything when we didn't go back to the 2000s. Because, like, dude, I argue that that's, like, the most influential album in hip-hop since 2000. So since this century, that album's, like, the most influential. In terms of hip-hop?
In terms of hip-hop.
Damn, so you're saying... You're telling me...
I'm telling you.
808 Heartbreak is the most influential album of the 2000s
of this century,
or like of this century. Whoa,
of this century.
808s and Heartbreak is the most influential album. Well, I guess in terms of hip hop, because like everyone started doing like would you say that and like the Carter 3? But like the Carter 3, Lil Wayne did the auto-tune and the Lollipop song. Yeah. Whereas Kanye did the whole shit. Right. And everyone does do auto-tune now. Like you can't. Every rapper does auto-tune.
Everyone does auto-tune. Kanye was. Yeah. There's certain moments where Kanye's like in his feelings, talking about like some real shit. Like. Like, you know, Kanye and that.
Yeah,
Kanye
808
and that-
Heartbreaks is really good.
Dude, really good album. And like, I don't like it when people give it shit because it's such a good album.
When it first came out, I was like, I don't know about this. But then after that, the more you listen to it, Love Lockdown's hella
Dude,
good.
Love Lockdown's good. Amazing.
Heartless.
Heartless.
That You Will. We're literally just gonna name the whole fucking
Welcome to
album right now.
Welcome to Heartbreak. with Kid Cudi, like,
Oh, Welcome to Heartbreak. Kid Cudi is on there. Amazing. Oh, dude,
yeah,
amazing.
dude. I remember I was like really, really starting to get into the NBA, and they used Amazing on like all the advertisements.
Damn.
And I was like, damn, that's what's up.
Because
Because Jeezy was on Amazing, and they like never used
Yep.
his verse, and I was like, he's got a good verse. Like, what are you like? How come you're not using it? Like,
there is a song with like, let me see if I could find it real quick. You probably know it before me, but like Kanye West was on it, and he was hella like in the auto tune mode, and it was like a DJ Khaled song, but I forgot what it was called. DJ Khaled. Oh man, it was Go Hard, T-Pain, featuring Kanye West and T-Pain, DJ Khaled. That shit was really good.
I don't think I ever heard this song.
Oh, I'll send it to you later. It's really good. Like in the midst of like the whole auto tune shit, and like he really killed it with the auto tune on that.
Damn.
And it makes sense because T-Pain was on it too. That was, yeah, freaking. But really though, like the most influential album.
Rap album.
Yeah.
I mean,
of-
shout out to like the Carter 3 because like I feel like the Carter, like a lot of that album is influenced for like all the Young Money movement. Like you can grab any song from the Carter 3 and be like, oh yeah, Drake took influence from that, or like, oh, Nicki took influence from that.
Would you say like the slew of like new rappers coming up, they all they look like Lil Wayne, but like sonically, they all take a little bit from Kanye due to the 808 Heartbreaks?
Kinda, yeah. I mean, not all of them.
Okay.
But I feel like there's a good amount. Like, I mean, if you look at like Travis Scott, I think Travis Scott looks like what I remember Lil Wayne looking like in like 08, like like the 05.
Ish.
Like,
He's not as tatted. He's not as tatted. But like I think even Kanye had like said it himself. Like Travis Scott is like a mixture of like him, Cudi, kind of. He's like a mixture of it.
Yeah. So it's like it all depends on the rapper. But like, yeah, dude, there was a moment in time where like there's a bunch of people that came out looking like Lil Wayne.
Yeah.
But like using heavy auto-tune influences.
Definitely, man. I mean,
like,
you can't like go past anything without hearing like auto tune now.
But yeah, I will challenge anyone listening to this to name a more influential album in hip hop since 2000, since the start of the century.
Okay, so from how long is the century? Like 100 years?
Yeah. So like from 2000 to today, a more influential rap and hip hop album than 808 Heartbreak.
So from 2000 to 2020, the most
to 2021
to 2022
to 22,
almost there.
Almost there. More influential hip hop.
The most influential hip hop album is Kanye's 808 Heartbreaks.
Yeah.
I mean, shit, you can't. And J. Cole's new shit, he had auto-tune on there too.
He started a movement.
I mean,
he started a
movement. Shouts out Kanye, man.
I mean, but could you name better albums? Probably. Like I'm not gonna sit here and be like, oh yeah, no.
Saying it's the best. You're just saying
it's
in
the
terms
most.
of
I think
influence.
it's the most influential.
For hip hop.
For hip hop.
I mean, yeah, it's a hot take, but like I see where you're coming from, man.
Hold on, what's your opinion on this, man? Like, I know. At some point, we gotta switch gears here in a moment, but just real quick.
I mean, like, I can't. I feel like it's hard to argue against it because when I think about it, Kanye was the first one to do like. When he dropped it was like, oh man, this whole album's auto-tune. Because like at that moment you would only hear like auto-tune in some songs, but all of it was auto-tune. And then a lot of rappers now use auto-tune.
Yeah.
Like every time you hear like new people coming out with it is auto-tune. So I can't think on the top of my head another influential album that influenced everyone from like the 2000s from like 2000 to like right now. So I don't know, man. It's hard. Is a I don't not agree with you. You know what I'm saying? So
I feel you.
yeah.
Special shout out to the Lollipop remix that had Lil Wayne and Kanye on it.
Oh, freaking Lil Wayne had a verse on Corday's new album, and that shit was really hard.
Oh, did he?
Yeah, I need to listen to the full song. I just saw that snippet of Lil Wayne rapping. I was like, God damn,
Nice.
still got it, man.
Nice.
Still got it.
So, I mean, Lil Wayne though grew up, kind of started getting big in the '90s, early 2000s. You know, there's a reason why Bling Bling became a thing, and that's because of Lil Wayne.
Yeah, I remember Birdman saying like they wish they would have trademarked it. They would have made hella money.
Dude, they would have made bank.
That's kind of like a crazy fun fact about Lil Wayne that he invented the term bling bling. But man, freaking during all these 2000s times, like the internet became more prominent, and then for me, because of the internet, I went on a slew. I don't know, or like that's how like I started getting into like more like old school like 90s stuff because of the internet. Like I would just YouTube so many other things. But I think the first time that like I really got into, I guess, like quote unquote 90s hip hop was just listening to Tupac, because everyone in my neighborhood always like loved Tupac. There was like whatever burnt CD anyone had, there was Tupac in it. My friend let me borrow Tupac's Greatest Hits CD, which had like all of the a lot of the songs on there. I think one of my favorite Tupac songs ever was like Life Goes On. Then from there, when I finally got the internet, so I looked up Tupac, and then after that I remember seeing things on MTV about like Biggie, and I was like, oh man, I'm gonna look up Biggie. Then like I looked up all of Biggie stuff, and I was like, man, this shit's like, especially like when you're used to hearing stuff on MTV, like D4L, Shake That Laffy Taffy.
Oh, dude.
You're like, what is this? Like this is
That's
what like
Soulja
your
Boy was on like every like 30 minutes.
yeah, when he like finally like popped off. So then like I was able to find like older like 90s hip hop. Then that's when like I got more into like Bone Thugs too.
Oh, dude.
Like Crossroads, and then kind of same thing. Like I remember people had like CDs, and like they would like show me all of like their stuff. And I would follow like hip hop MySpace pages.
No, nice.
And that's how I got into I forgot what it was, but I stumbled across the MySpace page, and then I heard A Tribe Called Quest, Oh My God.
Oh, it's a good song.
And then just hearing like the scratches on it, I was like, what the hell is this? And then after hearing A Tribe Called Quest, then like I just YouTubed all of their stuff, and then that goes into kind of like De La Soul. Yeah, man, those are a lot of it. Then I don't know if like YouTube really had an algorithm by then, or no. So there's like the West Coast hip hop for 90s hip hop. So there's old school Dr. Dre and Snoop Dogg, where there's like Nothing But a G Thing. It's hella good.
Yeah,
all the Tupac stuff.
Nate Dogg there. Yeah.
Yep. Like Death Row stuff.
You can't forget about Ice Cube. Can't forget about Eazy-E. You know.
Yeah. Yeah, because I think Lethal Injection was there. There's just so much. Then okay, but I remember watching, because VH1 used to have like hip hop awards. Yeah. And I don't know if I was into Wu-Tang. No. Okay, I'm trying to figure out, because I'm a big Wu-Tang Clan fan too. I think I already knew about Wu-Tang, but I think the first time I knew about them was the Dave Chappelle skit, where he was just all like, when he was like, when keeping it real goes wrong. Yes. And then like he slaps up everybody and he's like, Wu-Tang. And then from there, that's when like I started like YouTubing them. And then this is like when LimeWire was very prominent.
Oh, dude, LimeWire.
So awesome. I would just like LimeWire like all of like the Wu-Tang songs.
Dude, what a shout, man.
Yeah, man. But yeah, I think that's how I became like a big 90s hip hop fan, was just scouring through the internet of like early YouTube and LimeWire, and just finding groups, or just finding songs of like the Wu-Tang Clan, The Tribe Called Quest, De La Soul.
Nice, dude.
It was all that, man. What about you, John?
How'd
you get into it, into 90s hip hop?
I mean, I'll tell you, I'll tell you. Growing up. I mean, I grew up in Southern California, so like, I mean, I couldn't go anywhere without hearing at least some form of rap. But like, you know, growing up, like I had neighbors that would play a bunch of Tupac, play a bunch of Ice Cube, a lot of death row music. And like, you know, I would just hear it like next door. Like I'd be out on the streets playing, you know, playing something, and my neighbors out there playing nothing but a G thing or like Explosive, West Coast. Special shout out to the West Coast connection, but or like Warren G, like you know, groups like that, like dudes like that, like
you'd hear Regulators.
Yeah. Like it was just readily available for me as a kid growing up, just to hear a bunch of all the West Coast cats, you know. So like I like growing up, I kind of had a easy way to hear them all. Like even you know, even before you had like LimeWire, even before you had like the burn CD, even before you had like burn CDs, like, you know, our radio stations out here were playing it.
I was gonna say, like, you lived in LA area, so like you're able to hear it more. What were the pop-in radio stations that you used to always listen to?
Oh, dude. Okay, so we had it was Power 106, which is still around, which is still a hip hop mecca. Let's see, what else did we have? We had a couple of them. Like 99.1 used to always play a bunch of hip hop, and I think now it's like a combination. I think now it's a combination of things. Like radio stations kept jumping around, so like 92.3 went from hip hop to R&B exclusively, back to hip hop again now. Was it 90? Was it like, oh my gosh, like 102.3 used to be hip hop for a little bit, and then became like an R&B station. You had just a bunch of different like random radio stations, like 93.5 K-Day. Like even like in high school was like a really big station to like listen to like a bunch of like 90s rap, and
like they still kept it like with that.
They still kept it like I dude, every time I turned that station on, I would hear a bunch of like, I'd hear Nate Dogg's voice, like no matter what time. It'd be like, every other city we go.
Oh man, yeah, that was a solid one.
Yeah, but it's like I grew up with like easy access to it. At least I grew up with easy access to the West Coast, you know, 90s music. And then like I'll tell you, like video games played a really big role into like a lot of the music that I listened to. But like I remember playing NBA Street Volume 2, and like I remember playing the NBA Street games and getting a bunch of like East Coast like music thrown in there, and then like you had like I had like the Need for Speed franchises that had a bunch of like different that had like a bunch of rappers in it. Like NBA 2K for the longest time would use a bunch of like older songs, like Tony Hawk's Underground, and like in like the early 2000s would have a bunch of like random rap songs. Like Tony Hawk Pro Skater 3 is how I first really heard about KRS-One, because he had Hush, because they had Hush on that one.
Interesting.
Yeah, so it's like, you know. And I played a lot of video games as a kid, so it was like there was a lot of like sport-based video games that had a bunch of like rap and hip hop, and it's like I got a lot of exposure to that like at a young age before I was in high school. So like I remember because there's these two dudes in high school that like I was like cool with, and they were like, "Oh, dude, you don't know rap," and I was like, "You know what? Try me." And then I played was it I Ain't No Joke? And they're like, oh man.
Is that Big Daddy Kane?
Yeah. I played that, and then I played Don't Sweat the Technique.
Ooh.
It's a good song. Always a good song. And then
that's Rakim now,
yeah,
right?
that's Rakim.
Okay.
But like I was just playing a bunch of like 90s music. They're like, oh shit. Like, you know.
I think that's like more like 80s.
That is more. It is more.
Those two.
It is more. It is more 80s.
Late 80s like, going into early 90s, but still, it's like.
But it's like.
Shit.
But it's like for like at least for me, like getting exposure to like, you know, Biggie, like Diddy. For as much as you joke about Diddy not necessarily being a rapper, he put out a bunch of like rap music. He did put out a decent chunk of rap music.
Yeah, he struck when the iron was hot. Man.
He did.
Yeah, he got his songs in.
Exactly, but it's like there's a bunch of like there's like a bunch of like 90s East Coast hip hop that's in a bunch of video games, and it's like for that to go unnoticed, I feel like is a little criminal. because
Mm-hmm.
like it was the it honestly I will tell you, video games are probably like the easiest way to get music out there, because you know people are going to play it regardless. So
Yeah.
like why not like put a bunch of music that like you think is good like on a game, like.
Yeah.
So it's like, I had all that, and then LimeWire, YouTube and LimeWire became a really big thing, and then
Yeah.
that's when I really like got into like Nas and Jay Z was Jay Z is Jay Z. He
Mm-hmm.
was on MTV all the time, so like
Yeah.
it's kind of hard not to know who Jay Z was. Um, but like Hard Knock Life, like I didn't really like listen to that all too often. The Blueprint One, like Big Pimpin' and
Mm-hmm.
all that, like they had me like the music. I didn't hear let's see the music video for that till like years later.
Mm.
Um, hella interesting music video.
Those were
Um,
like one of the. I'm like opposite. Like the Hard Knock Life and the Big Pimpin' music videos are like one of the first music videos I could remember watching.
See, but I
That
didn't
and
have,
Dr. Dre's next episode.
but I didn't have like easy access to the internet till like '06.
Oh no, but they showed it on MTV. That's where I watched it.
Yeah, but you have to understand, like I had like sisters that would watch it too.
Oh, I get you. I get you. I get you.
So like, and I mean, I have a sister that listens to some rap.
Yeah, but not really. It wasn't in that you weren't able to like really watch it in the house like
Yeah,
that.
yeah,
I
like
feel
it
you.
would it was always like pop related. It was always like pop related music in the house.
Mm-hmm.
So it's like, so I was like, I would like sit outside and like just listen to what the neighbors were playing.
Mm-hmm.
So it's like, it's amazing how like there's a lot of different influences that you can get just by like, what you're just like going through your day to day.
Yeah.
Like I will tell you, like I remember, I heard the Far Side for the first time,
Mm.
and they're an LA based group, But I heard Passing Me By for the first time. And I was
Yeah.
like, damn, dude, this is like such a simple concept for a song, but it's like at the time I thought it was like done perfectly,
Yeah.
and like I'll still listen to it, dude. But it was like that's like one of the first songs I downloaded off LimeWire because I was like, damn, I have to.
Really? Was
Yeah.
Passing Me By?
Was Passing Me By Farside.
That's tight.
But then like kind of like what you were talking about, like you go from one rap group to another. So like I went from Farside to EPMD, from EPMD to Tribe Called Quest, from Tribe Called Quest to Wu Tang, from Wu Tang to De La Soul, from De La Soul to like Run, like even like 80s like Run DMC, and like
Yeah, yeah. You just go through once you get the internet, you just go down that rabbit hole.
yeah,
of,
dude,
like,
you just go down that rabbit hole, and then you're just like constantly just like learning new and new groups. And I think I mean, fortunately, unfortunately, like I don't know a lot of people that listen to a rap at that level. So I mean, it's kind of how this podcast started, right?
yeah, is to like to find like all those people freaking um man, the when you mention like all the video game stuff, like I remember playing Grand Theft Auto San Andreas and just like loved listening to Radio Los Santos
Oh, dude.
because they had like they had Dre Day. No, yeah, yeah, yeah.
They had Dre Day.
They had when they had Dre Day where like Easy E dissed Dr.
Yeah.
Dre, and then after that they have I think they had like 187 on there. I think Nothing But a G Thing was on there.
Yeah, I think so too.
Yeah, they had, man, freaking. That's like such an interesting point too, whereas like all of the video games that we had growing up was also kind of like an influence of like the music we had too.
Yeah.
Because I remember playing Need for Speed, and then they had it was like a Nate Dogg song. It was like Warriors on the Run, like some shit like that. I
Was
forgot
that
what
Snoop Dogg? Riders on the Storm.
Oh, there you go.
Yeah.
See, look, see, man, you know.
Dude, I remember PD Pablo was on there. Do you remember PD Pablo?
Yeah,
Freak
he was
a
on
Leak?
he was oh yeah, Freak a Leak. He was in he was in Drumline.
Was he really?
Shouts out Nick Cannon. Yeah, he was like the okay, we're gonna go on a tangent on the Drumline, but he was when the opposing school like had their thing. It was freaking.
Was he the
they had,
rapper?
Yeah, he was like the guest rapper.
Damn.
It was like PD Pablo. I think Freak a Leak was like the like his big hit during
That
that
was
time.
that was his big hit. But it's like, I don't know. I feel like we can do a whole separate podcast about like the reach that video games had when it comes to like exposing people to music.
Yeah, it was a whole ass thing. Damn. Okay. So, random question.
Yeah,
During the 90s,
during the 90s.
what record label would you like to be a part of if you could?
Def Jam.
Def Jam?
Yeah. I
Damn.
would have been too scared of Suge Knight to do Death Row.
Damn. Who okay, who else? So who was Bad Boy technically under Def Jam during the 90s, or was Bad Boy like their own thing?
Let me check.
Man, so there's Death Row. Honestly, I think no, but there's like Rap a Lot, Ruthless Records. Damn, I don't know who I would. I don't know who I would sign to if I was in like if I could choose like a 90s like hip hop like rap label. Death Row seemed like they had the. I would have joined. You know who I would join
Aftermath.
was no, because that's after that's after Death Row. Freaking, I would have joined like the whatever. What was the collective of like Native Tongues, where it's just I don't know if it's even on like a record label, but that's like when it's just like De La Soul, A Tribe Called Quest, like all of those guys. It's
I
more of
think
like
so.
a collective. Yeah, it's like a collective.
I don't,
if
I don't
it's
know.
like a-
I'm looking at Rap a Lot right now, and they got a decent like. They had rap. They had Raheem. Dude, Ghetto Boy. Shout out to the Ghetto Boy. Scarface.
Yep.
I think I still do Def Jam, but
Yeah. Fuck it. I'd be Death Row. I think of just Death Row and freaking the Lynch Mob. I guess you could
I'll do Lynch Mob
for
yeah.
like Ice Cube stuff. But it's yeah.
I mean, even
Or-
even Cash Money to a certain extent.
Mhm.
when
And then
that-
early Rockefeller records towards
Dude.
the end there.
Dude, that's a good one. That's a shout right there.
Nah, man, fuck it. I would want to be affiliated with the Wu-Tang Clan.
Honestly, I think anyone would love to be affiliated with the Wu-Tang Clan.
And yeah, freaking.
What's your favorite album of the '90s though? Because like we're talking about like all these acts and how we got exposed to them. Like, what is your favorite? Because I can go first. I can tell you mine.
Okay, go for it. Go for it. Tell me yours.
Okay, so mine has to be Illmatic. If I'm honest, I think any other answer would discredit how great of an album Illmatic is. Like that's like you can still listen to that whole album and it's still relevant today. Like it's insane.
Yeah.
Like it's insane. Like I remember the first time I heard it. It was like I think it was like '05.
Mm-hmm.
No, it had to have been a little bit sooner than that. Oh, what game was it? What game was it?
Illmatic's good. Biggie's "Ready to Die" is a good one. 36 Chambers from Wu-Tang Clan. Freaking all of like Tupac's 7 Day Theory. Man, I think honestly I'm with you though. Freaking I think Illmatic, and some might say that's the best rap album ever.
Of all time.
Like in the history of rap. I mean, but like
There's so
Okay.
many. There's so many out there.
Low End Theory from A Tribe Called Quest is, I would put it up there. Fuck. Okay, dude, that's hard. Then AT Aliens from Outkast, Aquemini.
Ooh,
Was it
dude.
Aquemini?
Yeah, it's Aquemini.
Yeah, Aquemini is really good. Aquemini.
Yeah, dude. Okay, so it was '03. I was playing Tony Hawk's Underground, and The World Is Yours is on there, and I was like, damn, it's a good song. I had to listen to more, and then I started listening. Then like I think at that point like my neighbor had like the internet, so I like would go to his house and like he'd be like, oh dude, I can bring you the CD. So like he burned me a copy of Illmatic, and I think I broke the CD. How many
Dude.
times I played it? Like
That's crazy.
because like one little scratch and it was just like you're done. Like so like
Oh man, that goes to how'd you used to clean your CDs back in the day?
dude.
Like when it was fucked up, you know, it was fucked up. How would you try to just breathe on it?
Just breathe on it, rub it, or like
I remember buying like a CD
I
cleaner.
at
Like
one
they had like the thing.
at one
and
point
you-
I had the machine where you just you like filled it up with like the solution. You put the disc in, and then it like cleaned it for you. But like, yeah, no. Before I would just like, you know, blow on it or like kind of like breathe on it, and, like
Yeah,
wipe it. Like hopefully get that helped it.
yeah.
Or like run it, or like I did probably what you shouldn't have done and like ran it through some water.
Was you shouldn't have ran it through
No.
water. You messed it up.
Yeah,
And what was the solution? Is like alcohol or something?
it was
I
like
don't
it was
even
like
know.
some like soap combination of things. Like
Oh jeez, man, that was a skip CDs were a whole struggle.
Dude.
Shouts out technology for people not having to deal with that anymore.
dude, right?
And like physically owning, like it takes up space. Like you'd have like a binder of like all of your CDs. Ugh. But yeah, man, freaking Mob Deep stuff dropped during
Oh,
the
dude, Mobb
90s.
Deep.
Freaking Snoop Dogg's Doggy Style dropped.
Dude, Snoop Dogg's Doggy Style. Dude, so much music came out in the '90s. So much rap came out in the '90s. But like, dude, honestly, I will tell you, I also listen to a lot of like '90s R&B.
Mm.
Like, I feel like the '90s, like early 2000s, like really cemented R&B as like a huge genre in my opinion.
Aaliyah, Usher's Nice and Slow.
Dude, Usher's Nice and Slow. Yeah, John B's They Don't Know.
Oh, okay. That was a good
Baby
one.
Faces Every Time I Close My Eyes.
Mm.
Like, oh, dude, so many, so many.
I think for R&B for me is more like towards the 2000s than like 90s. But I think when you say 90s R&B, I think of for just right now, just Usher Nice and Slow is in my head. Mm. Do you think there's like a weird blurred line between what underground hip hop was back in the day than to what it is now? You know what I'm saying? Because like before, like before the internet, it was harder to like find things. You know what I'm saying? Oh, wait, go ahead. What do you think?
I was just gonna say, like, the music is so accessible now that it's
Mm-hmm.
really hard to be an underground rapper now.
Yeah.
Whereas like before, before it was a lot of, from what I've read. Granted, I've never tried to be a rapper.
We didn't live it.
We didn't live it,
Mm-hmm.
but it's like it's a lot harder for you. It was a lot harder for your music to get out there,
Yeah.
where like you're giving like people your CD and hoping that like they fuck with it.
Yeah. You'd be like, hey, you like hip hop? You like
like
hip hop? I got $5 for my CD.
Dude, I can't tell you how many times, like, I would go with my buddy and his family down to Venice Beach, and they're just like,
there's so
dudes,
many
they're
like,
just
hey, you like hip hop?
it's like, hey,
You
hey,
like hip-hop?
hey, you want to listen to this? And they play it for like 30 seconds, and you're like, oh, yeah, it's okay. And they're like, hey, buy my CD, $5, $5.
Damn, that's crazy.
Yeah, dude, a lot. But like, dude, I don't really know if you can. I feel like the SoundCloud rapper has kind of taken over the identity of an underground rapper.
Mm-hmm.
So like I don't necessarily think, like, I don't really know if you can be an underground rapper. You can be
It's definitely
you can be
different
an
now.
independent rapper.
Yeah.
You can be like you can be a SoundCloud rapper, but I don't think you can be an underground rapper now. Whereas like before, like there's a bunch of like music acts that you have mentioned on this podcast that would be considered like an underground rapper
Mm-hmm.
that like didn't get the love they probably should.
Yeah.
But like
I'm-
it's rough. It was rough for sure. Like I'm sure
I think there's more meaning to it because it really was underground. Like you had to like go to like it was just like you had to like be there. Like you went to like a battle or something, and then
Yeah.
like the dude was like selling their CD, and I think it was a lot of that, like what you're saying, where it's just like, yo, check out my CD type thing, and like you're just like, I'll never. Before like the internet, you're like, okay, you got this dude's CD. How are you gonna see him again? You know,
right.
you just had a CD that one time, so. Yeah, it's really blurred. Then like with mixtapes and everything, because like Chance the Rapper's like coloring book wasn't even like an album. It was like a mixtape.
Yeah.
And like mixtape is in itself is I think like fundamentally like underground stuff, right? Where like you think it's like underground, but I feel like now with just technology and like how you're saying, like the accessibility of music, like what is underground anymore?
Yeah. I mean, it's really hard to really come up with a real description of what underground is. I personally don't know enough about what it's like now to like really say for sure if there's really like an underground scene.
Mm-hmm.
But I encourage anyone who knows like what it means to be an underground rapper now to like let us know, because like I'd be totally interested in like sitting there and listening to someone talk about like what underground rap is now versus like what it was in the 90s. Like hell, dude, even in like the 2000s, like you're still like being an underground rapper was still a struggle, even with like MySpace being like a thing. And
Yeah, definitely.
And you can promote your music like everywhere, like
Mm-hmm.
you
Because
know.
it still wasn't. I think underground was still a thing. Like
Yeah.
even like all the way up to MySpace times, like it's still very much. There was still like a line. You're like, oh, you an underground act. Whereas
Yeah.
like, but now it's like with streaming, anybody could be on Spotify.
I think when social media really like popped off in like the early 2010s, like that's when that, and then like you had like SoundCloud come out in like 2013, like
Mm-hmm.
you know you had, you know, I think there were a couple of times where like I thought I downloaded a song off LimeWire in like 2006 2007,
Mm-hmm.
and like it ended up being like a totally different song, and they're just trying to get you to like listen to their music.
Mm-hmm.
But like, dude, no, it's like really hard. It was really hard to be an underground rapper. Now I feel like you have so many avenues to release your music now.
Yeah, it's just way so much more accessible.
Yeah.
Man, shouts out 2000s and like all the 90s hip hop.
Shout out to the hustle that all those rappers had to deal with.
Freaking. But yeah, so I think for me, like I think Illmatic, when you to like my favorite album of the 90s, I gotta say Illmatic
Have
because it's freaking Nas. But oh man, I don't know. I gotta honorable mention Low End Theory from A Tribe Called Quest. I really like that a lot. Low
Yeah.
End Theory is really good. Rest in peace, Pipe Dog. But man, okay. Before one more question for you, John.
Oh, special
Going
shout
up.
out to Doggy Style by Snoop Dogg.
Yeah, Doggy Style was really good. Speaking of Snoop Dogg,
Speaking of Snoop,
would you have do you have like a favorite West Coast artist?
you know that's a good question. Do I? I mean, are we talking about strictly 90s or are we talking about just in general?
Just I guess just in general now. Like yeah, just in general. Or okay, no, you know what? Yeah, like from the 90s, from like the time that you were growing up in the LA area
Probably Snoop.
listening to it.
Probably
Snoop
Snoop.
Dogg?
I heard Snoop all the time as a kid.
Mm.
Like I know all the words to Gin and Juice just because like of everyone, like just because of the neighborhood I grew up in.
Mm.
Like I probably I've heard more Snoop Dogg music than anyone else as a kid because like it was just there. You know, it's either Snoop or it's Nate Dogg. Like I loved Nate Dogg's voice. Like, and he was in like every West Coast song. I feel like you can't find a song that didn't have Nate Dogg in it. Like it's a struggle.
Yeah, I think before T-Pain you couldn't like you know how like T-Pain was on
Yeah.
every hook, Nate Dogg was on everything.
Dude, he literally like, and it was like if you were a West Coast rapper, like that was like your goal. Not to have like Snoop or anyone on your track. It
You're
was
like
to have
I
Nate
need Nate Dogg on
Dogg.
my
I need
hook.
Nate Dogg, dude. Even Eminem had Nate Dogg on tracks. Like,
And you knew it was a banger,
dude,
when Nate
dude,
Dogg was on.
you put Nate Dogg on a song, and it's at least getting you on the charts, dude.
Mm-hmm.
So Nate, I think my answer is gonna be Snoop, but I really have to give a special shout out to Nate Dogg. I mean, you could say Tupac, but Tupac's technically from Baltimore, like.
Yeah.
So like, you know, you could say Dre, but Dre at a certain point became more of a producer than
he was
a
always
rapper.
been a producer at heart. Like
Like Ice Cube's up there. Like I would say Ice Cube's up there.
Mhm.
Eazy-E, if he didn't pass away, I think could
Mm-hmm.
have really been like one of the greats. But there's so many. Like
yeah.
there's so many. Like I know I'm missing a bunch of like West Coast rappers.
Mm-hmm.
Like I know it. Like I can't like say I'm not gonna sit here and be like, oh yeah, I've got those are the ones that you need to worry about. Like, no,
Yeah.
there's so much good music that came out the West Coast in the
Yeah.
90s that like you're really doing yourself a disservice if you're saying no. I'm only gonna listen to what was popular.
Yeah.
Cause like, dude, I still listen to like Farside. Like they put
Yeah,
out,
and like their sound is definitely not like the traditional like what Dr. Dre sound.
Yeah.
It's definitely different.
What about you, man? Do you have a West Coast rapper that you would like?
I would say, damn. I would just say Tupac, man.
Oh,
I think you can't go wrong with Tupac.
Special shout out to DJ Quick though. Before I forget, DJ Quick.
DJ Quick, yeah, DJ Quick's really good.
Yeah.
Tonight is like one of my favorite songs by DJ Quick.
Oh, dude, Dollar and Cents.
Yeah. Cypress Hill too.
Oh, dude,
Cypress Hill.
Dude, Cypress Hill. I think. Oh, dude, Insane in the Brain. Oh my gosh. Hits from the Bong. Oh man, how I could just kill a man.
Dr. Green Thumb was one of my favorite songs of Cypress Hill.
Dude,
that is hilarious.
Dude, that's a good one. I want to get high, dude. That's a good one. I don't know if you ever heard that one, but that one's a really good one. That whole Black Sunday album is probably one of the best best rap albums of the 90s.
Yeah, no, Cypress Hill, and like I feel like Cypress Hill is like one of the first like acts that like really promoted weed like that. You know what I'm saying? They're like, yeah, we smoke weed.
Yeah.
Where like now it's kind of like it's the norm, but like back then it was a little more taboo.
Just a little bit.
Them and like Bone Thugs, but even like Dr. Dre too. They weren't like all about weed, but weed was definitely because I mean the Chronic. That's like all it's about weed. Yeah, I'd say Tupac for me in terms of like when I think of West Coast rap, you could not think of Tupac. But there's a lot, and there's still like all the Bay Area guys too. Yeah. E40, Andre Nicotina.
Oh, dude, can't forget about dude. How do you forget about E40, man? Even in the 2000s, yeah, E40, man.
Too Short.
Oh, dude, Too Short.
Mac Dre. Yeah, man.
Dude, so many.
But Mac Dre's more in like 2000s than like the 90s. But yeah, man, it's always good talking about music with you, John.
Dude, always a pleasure, man. Any other 90s artists you want to put out there before we finish up here?
I'm sure we missed them.
Dude, Corrupt.
We liked a lot. We like a lot of them.
Dude, Mac 10. Shout out to Mac 10. MC Light? MC Light. I think I'm butchering that name.
MC Light?
Yeah.
Isn't that like is she from the West Coast? I forget.
No, I'm thinking of MC EIHT.
Oh. MC8.
MC8, like Straight Up Menace would probably be a song. Would probably be the most popular one.
I think he was in Good Kid, Mad City.
I think so.
Like he. MC.
Dude, so many artists on the West Coast, and I know, like, I mean, you can talk about the East Riders that was like Tupac, Goldie Lock, someone else. Really disappointed I couldn't remember that. They're like 90, like the 99 2000s.
Wait, are you considering Tupac an East Coast rapper?
I mean, technically he's from the East Coast, but he's a West Coast rapper. Like he really embodied the West Coast.
I mean, he grew up. He grew up in. I think he was born there, then he moved over here. But like, yeah, I think you can't not think of the West Coast without Tupac. But yeah, you gotta. It's a good note.
Do you remember Exhibit, man?
He's from Albuquerque.
Is he from New Mexico?
Yeah, I think there is it's kind of like the Tupac thing where it's like, he reps like the West Coast, but I think he was like somewhere like that, like originally from like Albuquerque or something. I had a kid in one of my classes where he used to deliver pizzas, and he delivered a pizza to Exhibit.
Really?
Yeah. Shouts out Pimp My Ride.
Dude, I feel so bad for everyone that got a car from Pimp My Ride.
What do you mean? They got a TV on their TV.
Oh my god.
They had like PlayStations in the back, and then one guy got like a jacuzzi. Like, hey man, I know you're trying to be a dentist, so we got you a whole dentistry in the back of your car. We got the chair and the drills and everything, so you could practice your dentist.
There's the dude that had the soda machine put in his car. Like,
I feel like every car, like they're like, we got to look at this, and they're like, how are we gonna put a PS2 in this?
Dude, right? It's like, how are we gonna get that
I thought-
PS1? Like,
I thought that was the coolest thing as a kid. Like, oh man, you got TVs in the back seat with PlayStations. This is crazy.
dude. Okay, I will tell you. I mean, Pit My Ride, we could talk about for like half another pod, like easily. But like, I remember there's this one car that like they. I remember there's a bunch of cars that had this happen to them, but like there's like a car that like they couldn't get the engine to start. Like they all the electrical worked. Like he had like a fish tank like in his car. Like they put a fish tank in there. Like he had like I think he had also had like a popcorn maker or some shit. Like
Oh damn.
but they couldn't get the engine to start, so they kind of just left it there and like didn't say anything about it. But apparently there's a lot of cars that like they did a bunch of work on it, and then like after the show aired, they were like, "Oh yeah, no, we can't fix this." Like,
Wait, so they made it look cool.
they made it look. There's a lot of cars that
But-
they made it look cool, but like shortly after, like the show like stopped, like aired and everything, like it like broke down and they couldn't fix it.
Damn, that sucks. That's fucking hilarious though. Wait, so you're saying like for not all of them, but for some of them, they pimp their ride, they make it all cool, and they're like cut, and then after that, this guy tries to like go to work, and the car breaks down because there's a fish tank in his trunk with two PS2s, and they're like, "Yo, my car doesn't work," and they're like, "Of course it doesn't work, man. There's fucking a fish tank and PS2s back there. This isn't logical." And then they just didn't refix the
Yeah.
cars because
I mean-
they got all messed up after.
I mean, dude, I remember there was an episode
That's
where there was like a
hilarious.
minivan that had like butterfly doors. Like who needs butterfly doors on a minivan?
Everyone does, dog. That's but that sucks though. If I was those people, like the whole point was to like get your car fixed, and then after that they make it all cool and stuff, but at the end of the day it still can't like ride or like drive. That sucks.
Yeah. Dude. I mean, I'm sure most of them ended up being like nice, but you only hear about like the bad ones, the bad things that happen to them. You know what I mean?
Yeah, it sucks for the handful of people where like they get it fixed, but then like the engine doesn't work. But they're like, at least I got a PS2 back here.
Dude, exactly. I mean, it's like, yeah, I got TVs in the back of the headrests. Like that's cool, but my engine doesn't run. You know, what am I gonna do?
Man, shouts out Exhibit.
Dude, shout out to Exhibit, man.
Shouts out Exhibit. Shouts out 2000s shows. Shouts out 2000 music, 90s music.
Dude,
We went down a good rabbit hole, man.
Dude.
From the last two episodes, all the music that we like.
Oh yeah, I think honestly, like I'm sure we could talk more and more about music, and I'm sure we will talk more and more about music. But
We
like,
will talk more about music. So stay tuned for more of the episodes. Thank you for listening, everybody. We love you guys. Peace out.
Take care.